Hey guys, what's up? It's 2-Bit here, and welcome to another 2-Bit review, and it's a very special one as it's election year here in the States. And with two great candidates, I don't know which one to choose. I mean, on one hand, Donald Trump has a very good brain, from what he said, and he has very good words, the absolute best words. And then on the other hand, you have Hillary Clinton, who won't plunge the world into global depression or nuclear winter.
My main man, my non-equine brohame, my bipedal bro, my best friend with no mane, my buddy with a body, non-horse homo sapien. You're my bromo sapien. I brought you that anniversary review game. I know you lack the fine equine nature like my own, so let me break it down for you. Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get this game? I know your intuition as a mere mortal is not quite up to what I'm used to, so I'll break it down for you. I traveled into, wait for it, the future! That's right, I traveled to your 3rd anniversary review. To a review that hasn't even happened and brought back a game. The perfect anniversary review. Do you see its glory? It's a review that hasn't even happened. From an anniversary that does not yet exist. It's divine!
Well, Horse, with the election coming up, I thought it might be a good idea to, review a game that's based on politics.
Okay, that seems like an excellent choice. I only traveled through space and time, subverting reality and all the laws of physics as we know them, but, a politics game is... I guess the divine opinion of the vice president of the MFers is no longer needed around here, so, Mr. Know-It-All, Chief Chronicler, I guess you don't need old horse around anymore. I'll just leave this game here, and this intriguing periodical I picked up in the future, I'm sure you'll find some use for it. Since you don't need me to explain things to you. Well, goodbye, 2-Bit. Away!
Man, I'm tired of Horse telling me what to do. This isn't a democracy. This is a 2-Bit dictatorship. Whew, excuse me. Whew. I'm a little tired after that little tangent. I think I'm going to take a little power nap here, and then I'm going to get right to the review, guys. 2-Bit, you were right about Raptor. Mannequin's the key. Wake up, you gotta review Mario's Time Machine. Don't forget Bamboo. Bamboo's the answer. No. I just dreamt I was in a shitty movie. Thank Retro God it wasn't real. Mario's Time Machine is an educational video game. The Super Nintendo version was published by Mindscape and developed by the software Toolworks. The Nintendo version was published by Nintendo and developed by Radical Entertainment. Now, Mario's Time Machine was originally released for the PC in 1993 and then later released for the Super Nintendo during the holiday season of 1993 and then the Nintendo in 1994. Thanks to mega hits like Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, the video game industry in the late 80s and early 90s saw a potential gold mine in the educational entertainment genre of video games. Mario's Time Machine is one of several educational Mario games of this era, and while it focuses on teaching human history, the gameplay and even the game engine vary greatly between the 3 different versions, but the story remains roughly the same. Being a port of the original PC release, Mario's Time Machine on the Super Nintendo has made several changes, such as having less content, and some graphical changes like the design of the time machine. Though the Super Nintendo version does make use of Mode 7, in the Time Waves portion of the game, Mario can move in a 360 direction, where in the original he could only move forward. Well guys, with these tidbits out of the way, let's get our flux capacitors ready and generate the 1.2 gigawatts it takes to jump into this review. Well, there isn't much gameplay here. You start the game in a small room and mainly have to fill in blanks of historical mini-biographies with multiple choice answers. Typically, there are 4 to 5 historical items connected to the biographies in the room that you click on to fill them out. You get 3 tries to fill in the blanks, but if you miss all 3, you have to start all over. But strangely, any answers you got right are still there, so there isn't any penalty for failing. And that's half the gameplay right there. The other half is using Mario's Time Machine to select the place and date on the biography and traveling through time, which is Mario surfing on the ocean and going into whirlpools. This is the only part of the game that resembles a Mario game, and I say that very loosely. The object here is to collect 10 mushrooms so you can warp to the time and place you selected. There are spikes that take away mushrooms. The problem here is spikes and mushrooms visually disappear while playing, but are still there, so you might get hit by a spike and lose mushrooms without even seeing it. This is a major design flaw and immediately lets you know this isn't a true Mario game. Finally, once you arrive at your destination, you must find the historical person that was the subject of the biography you filled out. There are other people here that you can interact with, and they'll tell you a lot about the person you are looking for. It's the edu part of this edutainment game. Once you find the historical person you're looking for and give them the item, you return to the room you started in, and then you rinse and repeat the process. As far as level design goes, I think it's safe to say there really isn't any levels, if you want to call them that. They are very small and closed in without any enemies to encounter. It's just learning about historical figures with no real gameplay mechanics involved. So Mario's Time Machine, while trying, but ultimately failing to make learning history fun, gets 0 bits out of 4. Kinda like gameplay, not much here. You have some Mario themes in the game, and the sound quality is actually pretty good, but it just loops after a while and it gets old fast. And the music that are in the historical eras that Mario visits are very bland, and there just isn't anything worthwhile here to talk about. So, with good sound quality and a bland delivery, sound gets 1 bit out of 4. The graphics aren't bad. In the hub area where Mario starts, and even the surfing area, it looks like a Super Nintendo game. The historical eras that you will visit look like a bad MS-DOS game, and they're just ugly to me. Maybe they looked better on the PC version, but the Super Nintendo version, it just looks like regurgitated rat's ass. The plot, or lack thereof, is that Bowser has built a time machine, and him and the Koopas have stolen history's most valuable artifacts. And it's up to Mario to break into Bowser's castle and return the historical artifacts before history is forever changed. Once Mario returns all the artifacts, he overloads the time machine, destroying it and sending Bowser back into the dinosaur age. Now, depending on the time and order you completed the game in, you get 3 different endings. Really, there's just 2 different endings. One has Bowser getting away, and the other 2 is Bowser being sent to the dinosaur age. And the variation between the dinosaur age ending is one, he gets squashed by a dinosaur, and the other, he's just sent there. With subpar graphics and a mediocre plot, presentation gets 1 bit out of 4. Mario's Time Machine is a terrible game, and one of the reasons I think edutainment games have such a terrible reputation because of games like Mario's Time Machine. The Software Toolworks should have taken notes from the Carmen Sandiego franchise on how to properly implement education with gameplay. So my final verdict for Mario's Time Machine is it's not a must-buy or must-play for the collector or casual owner of the Super Nintendo. And with all this done, guys, as always, I'm 2-Bit, saying stay safe and play on. Oh, you guys are still here. I'm still playing this game. I'm trying to get the best ending. I refuse to let any game beat me, especially the shitty ones. If I could only figure out what material Thomas Edison used in his light bulb. Wait. Don't forget bamboo! Bamboo's the answer! Oh my retro god. Horse was right. I wonder what else he was right about. That's what you were trying to show me, horse. Thank you wherever you are. I'm gonna go set this right.
Politics game. A politics game? A game based upon politics. The concept of mortal disagreements, petty squabbles based on nothing more than moralistic guidelines and opinions. Doesn't make any sense if you ask me, but 2-Bit always has been hard-headed. I'm sure he'll come around eventually. Politics game, what a fool. He'll see. They'll all see. When I set fire to this world, and I watch them burn, and they scream, and they look up to me, and they ask for help. They beg for it. But I will only look down on them. A slight smile on my lips, and I will tell them, "No! Burn, motherfuckers!"